Hello, welcome to Weekly Recipes. Every Tuesday, I'd like to release a video of a recipe that falls in the keto eating plan. Um, Interesting recipe tonight. A lot of people promoting the keto diet talk about beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I don't even know there's even butter in this one. Um, it's another recipe that's almost vegetarian, uh, but there's a there's chicken broth in it. But I'm willing to bet you can switch it out for vegetable broth. I wonder how that would work. Um, Also, another recipe that says it's 4 servings, but I'm just going to make 2 servings because it says it makes 4 1-cup servings, and that doesn't a 1 cup serving doesn't sound very satisfying. So let me go ahead and get into it. All right, and here's all what's there. Starting off, well, the recipe calls for 4 cups of sliced mushrooms. This package, if I'm doing the math right on the servings and the how much uh, the container is, it's 3.5 cups. So I'm gonna say that's probably close enough. 1/3 cup of olive oil. Calls for a half a cup of chopped onions. I wonder if I'm cheating by using the frozen onions. 1 clove of minced garlic. 1/2 a cup of whipping cream. 4 cups of chicken broth. 4 ounces of cream cheese. A half a teaspoon of black pepper. A half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. 1/2 teaspoon of thyme. It says half a teaspoon of bouillon powder. Bouillon? Bouillon? Why can't I say that word? Say it all the time until I need to say it out loud. Bouillon? That powder. I'm pretty sure a cube of that. Bouillon. That powder is is a half a teaspoon, and then a half a teaspoon of salt or to taste. I'll just have to be grumpy at the French for that. Anyway, so let's get everything measured out and started up. Okay, got everything all measured out and weighed up. Looks like the bouillon. I'm not gonna get that right. Bouillon cube makes a 1 teaspoon instead of half a teaspoon, but it's kind of hard to carve up. But hey, that just makes it have more flavor in it, right? Anyway, so what I'm going to do is turn the temperature on medium and and spill the oil everywhere. Get some of it into the pan there, and once the oil gets hot, I'll add in some of the onions. All right, that's been warming up on medium heat for a while, so now I'll add in the garlic and the onion. Probably too loud. And to stir that up for about let that cook for about 5 minutes or until the onions go translucent. Alright, that's been cooking for a while, so now I'll add in the salt. Oh, I was expecting that to go whoosh or something, but and I'll add in the pepper. I have it on that plate because I was expecting it all at the same time, but hang on 1 second. Alright, salt and pepper's mixed in. Now I'll add in the sliced mushrooms. I'll get the mushrooms mixed into the oil there and let that cook for 5 minutes. Okay, that was a really quick 5 minutes. So it says to make sure you scrape off all the burnt bits off the bottom of the pan, but anyway, so since I can't pronounce bouillon, anyway, I'll add in the thyme and the cayenne pepper, Chacan stock broth, and then I'll raise the heat to bring that up to a boil. Yeah, that's on a good rolling boil. I'll go ahead and lower it to a medium-low heat, and it doesn't say to cover it on the site where I got the recipe, link in description. And I was going to cover it because it seemed like a good idea, but I can't find the lid to this pan for some reason. I really need to get my life in order. Anyway, I'll just let that simmer for about 10 minutes, and I'll come back to it. I'll be stirring it every once in a while just to make sure it's doing good. It's not quite done cooking yet, but it smells amazing. Yeah, the closest thing to meat in here is the chicken broth, but I'm willing to bet some chunks of beef would go in really good with these too. All right, it's been cooking for about 10 minutes now, so I'll go ahead and add in the cream. And the cream cheese. I'll get that mixed up and started. Oh yeah, that is looking really good. And I'll let that cook for another 5 minutes. Okay, about 5 minutes is up, so I'll turn the heat off. And now, move over. I use something I don't get to use very often is the immersion blender. It says if you don't have an immersion blender, you can just use a regular blender, but I don't get to use this very often, so I'll go ahead and try it out. It really spreads the smell around. It's kind of fun how it drags the blender into the thing. Guessing that's the blades pushing down and some anti-lift there on the blades there. We'll have to get the gunk out of the blades there, the holes. And now that that's done blended, I'll put it back onto the heat and let it simmer for 3 or 4 more minutes. Just let that simmer for 3 or 4 more minutes. I'm not sure how much of that colorization is just foam from the blender, or that's what it's going to look like. But we'll let that sit for a couple minutes and come back to it. And there's the finished product. I guess that's the colorization of the soup. I get the feeling that this is one of those recipes that you're supposed to have with other stuff while you're eating. But I'll let it cool off a bit before I get it in the bowls. And like I said before, it says it makes 4 servings, but I think I'll just make it as 2 servings. So, a moment. And there's the final product on mushroom soup. It fill up the bowls pretty well. Fill up the bowls a little better than I thought it would. I don't know if it's just perspective, but it looks like the white bowl is bigger than the black bowl, even though it should be about the same size. Anyway, interesting to use the immersion blender. I don't get to use that very often. And something interesting I'm going to do as a trick of using the vacuum sealer, because I like to vacuum seal the food before putting it up in the freezer, and had a hard time sealing up the soups that I was doing. And this is a really creamy soup, so it would have been a bad thing. That bad thing that happens to when I try to freeze soup would happen to that soup. So I'm going to show you what I do. I've been doing the last couple times I made soup. So because what happens when I try to just put the soup into a vacuum bag and put the vacuum bag into the vacuum sealing machine, the soup gets sucked into the vacuum sealing machine and messes up the machine. And when it does get a good seal inside of the bag, the soup just kind of, I don't know what the technical term for it is, kind of fades away over time. But the last couple times I've been putting soup in a bag and putting in the bag into the freezer bag like this. So I'll have a bag inside the bag and I'll seal the bag. So one second. And now I got the bag inside the bag and the bag is sealed. It seems to keep the original soup a little bit better condition. Yeah, there is a little bit of air left in that original bag. I couldn't get that out, but I'm sure that's not going to be too big a deal. It hasn't been a big deal in a couple of other soups I've been making lately. But anyway, that's mushroom soup. Link in the description where I got the original soup and for the original recipe. And thanks for watching. Every Tuesday, I like to release a video of a recipe that falls in the keto eating plan. like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. And have a nice day.